for the residents of East Palestine.
Thanks very much.
Time of the gentleman's expired. Senator Menendez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioner, good to see you. Contrary to the standard in most professions, paid preparers are not obligated to hold a license. While many tax return preparers offer exceptional and professional services, yet regrettably, there are some who take advantage of the lack of oversight in the market to take advantage of hardworking taxpayers. These ghost preparers, as some call them, or other unscrupulous preparers often promise hefty returns, claim credits for taxpayers that they are ineligible for, and charge fees based on the inflated refund amounts. Then the preparer will balk at signing or providing their IRS prepared tax ID number as mandated by law, leaving the taxpayer exposed and potentially liable for any inaccuracies in their returns. Commissioner, what have you done or what can you do to crack down on fraudulent tax preparers, and what additional resources and authority, if any, does the IRS need to eliminate this practice?
What we've tried to do, Senator, within our legal authorities that we have is lean in, do more awareness campaigns, work with taxpayers on the risks of ghost preparers. That only gets you so far, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't be leaning in, excuse me, to do more of these awareness campaigns. We have put in the president's budget a variety of different provisions that would help us with cracking down on ghost preparers and other unscrupulous preparers. New tax penalties that would be created, allowing us to determine more comprehensively whether a tax preparer is suitable or not. There are certain restrictions that we have at the IRS in terms of being able to essentially regulate this space. This is a spot where I think regulations would be helpful because in particular, vulnerable populations in distressed communities need help. They don't have the means to hire an accountant or a lawyer, and we should be helping
I would
them.
very much like to hear from you, not right now, but and your staff. What type of authorities or regulations would you like to see to be able to be more successful in this regard? You know, I would imagine that if a law says that if you're a tax preparer and you fail to put your tax ID purposely, that making that some type of a crime is a real incentive not to do that. So anyhow, but I'd like to hear
I appreciate the
your
question.
ideas. Last year, a collaborative study by Stanford University and the Department of Treasury uncovered that black taxpayers face over 3 times the likelihood of being audited by the IRS. The absence of race or ethnicity data collected by the IRS obscures the roots of this inequality, but the report points to potential discrimination embedded with the IRS audit selection algorithms. At your confirmation hearing, you and I had a little bit of a discussion about this. Additionally, the research highlights the disproportionate audit rates targeting individuals claiming the EITC. Commissioner Werfel, in a letter to Chairman Wyden, you committed to identify and implement changes prior to the next tax filing season. Within the framework of the Inflation Reduction Act Strategic Operating Plan, the IRS has pledged to engage in research aimed at comprehending any systemic bias. A primary focus with this initiative is the continual assessment of algorithms for selecting audits related to the EITC, for example. So my question is, what are the findings of your research thus far? The Stanford report did not conduct research into potential audit biases for Latino taxpayers, but as you work on this issue, will you commit to evaluating Latino taxpayers as well?
Yeah, let me start by saying, as I sat here on February 15th, 2023, at my confirmation hearing when this report had just come out, it was alarming and concerning, and I wanted to get to the IRS and roll up my sleeves and address it. First thing I did when I got to the IRS was respond to the Mr. Chairman's request for an update. I provided an update. I told him, and I acknowledged the validity of the findings, acknowledged that there were racial disparities in how we selected audits for certain refundable credits, including EITC, and committed to doing something about it. We've dramatically reduced the number of EITC audits. We've made changes to our selection algorithm. We've done more outreach to impacted stakeholders. We're working with the Census Bureau and others to make sure we're setting up the right data infrastructure in order to better evaluate the racial disparity, potential racial disparity of any tax administration so that this doesn't happen again. The results, I committed to the chairman that I would be prepared by the fall of 2024 to start unpacking some of the results of what these steps are, and I still think we'll make that deadline.
Well, I look forward to hopefully you sharing that with us, and I hope you will look at Latinos as part of your
Absolutely.
overall effort.
We will.
Fairness is an essential part of your mission, so thank you.
Very important. Mr. Commissioner, you have been in that seat for almost 2.5 hours, and